But today, IGN has decided to stir up some nonsense and pretend there's a gigantic console war and say some utter freaking BS. Let's just talk about the size of the PlayStation 4 library. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to grab some fistfuls of my freaking games. Let's take a look at this. So, literally, I can just stack these up all the way to the freaking ceiling. Oh god, I'm gonna drop these. Oh god. Oh god.
What's up, gamers? I hope you guys are all having a great day today because, you know, I'm really just in a great mood here because we get to take a look at a video from one of my personal favorite content creators that, you know, I've ever talked about on this entire YouTube channel, and that, of course, is none other than Dreamcastguy.
What's up, gamers? Dreamcastguy here.
Now, I'm sure most people who've watched my channel for quite a while know about Dreamcastguy. They're probably familiar with his antics on YouTube. The dude is a notorious liar, to put it honestly here. You know, I could say that he bends the truth a little bit from time to time, but the dude has been caught countless times lying about different things. He's lied about having a Sony employee send him secret information about the PlayStation 5 before launch. He lied about having an issue in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate when he really never had the problem. And then he made up some story about how he sat down with the developers of Fallout 76 at a bar and they told him what a disaster the game was going to be before anyone else knew. Then I think there was another story too where he claimed like a month before the Sonic the Hedgehog movie trailer came out, like the really cursed one, he said he ran into like a Paramount employee. I'm not sure exactly, I don't remember off the top of my head, but the dude literally said that he saw the trailer before anyone else did. He said it looked absolutely amazing, and then when the actual trailer came out, you know, of course, because it got a bunch of backlash, Dreamcastguy all of a sudden said it looked like complete shit. Like, this dude literally is one of the most dishonest people on this entire platform. Like, I'm not even mentioning the small things. Like, this dude hypes up rumors, completely twists people's words, and, you know, speaking of twisting words, that's kind of the situation we're going to be looking at here, because, you know, this is one of the most pitiful attempts I think I've seen in my entire time on YouTube to try and make it look like someone said something that they absolutely did not. Now, the title of this video we're going to be watching here today is PS5 has no games, says IGN director, plus new PS5 controllers revealed. Now, you know, it really does pain me to have to do this, but in this video, I'm gonna have to defend IGN of all places. Like, if you guys have watched me for a while, you know how much I absolutely love IGN.
At IGN, we're a bunch of different people with a bunch of different preferences, thoughts. We're individuals.
At least personally, I feel like I don't necessarily want to play 15 to 20 hours of what I was just shown.
It's very jarring,
yes.
And I found myself feeling extremely uncomfortable during the demo.
I hope the game isn't 10 hours of that sort of feel, because that would be very intense and ultimately not very fun.
If the headline coming out of this was, you can play this game non-lethally, I think that would have really changed my opinion of it.
I'm excited to see the multiplayer.
I just want to see multiplayer.
Yes.
Like, that's what we love.
That's what I'm really excited about.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to this video, man. Just, you know, prepare yourself, prepare your brain cells, because there's going to be a lot of collateral damage. So I think without further ado, guys, sit back, relax, strap yourself in, prepare yourself, and let's go ahead and play this shit. You know, I always say this whenever we watch a Dreamcastguy video, but it is always true, man. Whenever you see this intro, you know you're about to witness some quality-ass content.
Spider-Man Miles Morales, Sackboy's Big Adventure, Returnal, Godfall, Demon Souls. Like, man, I'm still just completely in love with my PlayStation 5.
I mean, the only game he mentioned there that I'm even slightly interested in is Demon Souls, which I own. I own a PS5, but I haven't played it yet because I realized, you know what, I've already played this on the PS3, so I'm really not that pressed to go back and play it. And I think it's pretty funny that he's like flexing the fact that PS5 has Godfall because he called it the worst PlayStation 5 game.
It's now been about 6 months exactly since the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X have come out. Now, let's just be clear, both of these systems are fantastic.
I mean, I wouldn't really even go that far, man. I mean, they're good consoles, like there's nothing inherently wrong with them, but I wouldn't say they're anywhere near fantastic. I think it's way too premature to declare that because there's really not any games on either platform that are like must-have, like I must go out and buy a console for this game, but you know, maybe it'll get there, but most of the PS5 games are on the PS4, and the Xbox Series X has jack shit.
I'm not gonna act like one is a complete freaking piece of junk and the other is a masterpiece. Both both of these systems are definitely different and good in their own way. But today, IGN has decided to stir up some nonsense and pretend there's a gigantic console war and say some utter freaking BS.
I mean, I think it's beyond ironic that this is coming from Dreamcastguy of all people when he routinely does the exact same thing that he's literally describing right now, but it makes it even better when the dude from IGN is literally not doing anything. The only thing this dude from IGN dared to do is have an opinion different than Dreamcastguy's. I mean, we just can't have that now, can we?
Also today we're going to be talking about the fact that there's new PlayStation 5 controllers that have finally been revealed after leaking last year.
Oh my god, I can't contain my excitement.
What's up gamers, Dreamcastguy here. Now let's start things off by taking a look at the tweet that seems to have the internet on fire.
Actually, the tweet doesn't have the entire internet on fire, it only has mental midgets like yourself on fire who completely missed the point and are now trying to twist it into some console wars bullshit, which then you turn around and accuse the guy who made the tweet of doing. The mental gymnastics that are going to be on display here in a couple seconds are going to be absolutely amazing.
Now brace yourself, this is some fanboy stupidity.
Talk about the pot calling the kettle black.
This is the director of IGN. This guy is pretty dang high up. This is not just some random journalist. It's not some random freelancer. This guy is way up at IGN, and last night he randomly dropped this.
I mean, isn't that like the entire point of Twitter?
Since the launch of Next Gen, I've done a complete 180, and at this point, I would not recommend a PlayStation 5 to people. Not until it has more games. Now let's just take a second here to digest this ridiculous opening statement.
Where is this outrage coming from? Like, what is so ridiculous about this statement? The dude literally said, at this time, I don't recommend you go out and buy a PlayStation 5. Wait for more games. Like, what the fuck is wrong with this shit, dude? Like, honestly, I'd probably recommend the same. Like, if you can get a PS5 right now, sell that motherfucker for $900, wait a couple months, get it when it's at retail, and then there's more games to play when you do get it. Like, single-player games don't have an expiration date. You can wait to play them for as long as you want. There is literally no reason right now to go out and rush to buy a PS5. There's not any games out at the moment that are like literally of that status where it's like, I must buy a console to play this right now. So I don't really get where this outrage is coming from. It's really not that crazy of a take. The dude's just saying, wait until the console offers you more value for your money. Like, what the fuck is wrong with that?
I would not recommend the PlayStation 5, not until it has more games. That's pretty funny, but let's just actually think about the fact that, look, the Xbox Series X is great in a lot of ways. It has more power, quick resume is fantastic. Personally, I think the Xbox controller is a little bit better than the PlayStation 5 even now, but we need to just look at the facts. PlayStation 5 has more console exclusives than the Xbox Series X.
I mean, you're acting like the only reason someone would buy a console is for console exclusives, which could not be further from the truth, as we see from the sales charts every single year, but you're acting like Ratchet & Clank, Returnal, and Demon's Souls are like these massive system sellers. Like, everybody's going out to buy a PS5 to play Ratchet and fucking Clank, dude. No, most people buying a console right now are doing it to play games like Call of Duty. There is literally nothing on either console at this point, exclusive-wise, that would ever get me to even consider buying an entire console over. I literally just bought the video game consoles because I was able to pre-order them at retail, and on top of that, I could write them off on my taxes. The only reason I kept my PS5 is because eventually I'll want to play the new God of War. And the only reason I kept my Xbox is because I already have Game Pass Ultimate for the next 3 years, so I figured might as well take advantage of that. Like, no game on either console is what convinced me to go out and buy it.
So saying that the Series X has more games is a bit of a strange statement.
I don't really find that funny at all when the Xbox literally has 3 generations of backwards compatibility and the PlayStation 5 only has 1. I don't know the exact numbers though, but from my standpoint, Xbox definitely has more games that I'm interested in. And with that being said, I haven't turned my motherfucking Xbox on in 4 months, so take that for what it's worth.
When it still currently is just boosting older experiences. But let's take a look at the rest of this.
That's right, man. There's literally been nothing coming out for the Xbox Series X in the past 6 months. I mean, it's truly amazing how this dude's accusing the guy from IGN of making all these bullshit claims when this motherfucker, not even 2 minutes into his YouTube video, already looks like a complete fucking clown.
Get an Xbox Series X and sign up for Games Pass. I play an Xbox game literally every night, and I haven't even turned on my PlayStation 5 in 2 months.
Yo, same, but I haven't turned my PS5 on in like 5 months. I haven't turned my Xbox on in 4 months again, so, you know, not really that much better, but you get the point. If you have a primary platform other than the PS5, there really isn't shit to play on it, and that's the only point this dude's making.
Returnal looks great, but it's $70. Game Pass is just too good to ignore. PS5 library will get there, someday, and it will be expensive. Now, let's just try and be objective about this ridiculous statement.
Now, I just want you to pay attention to what he said there. He said the PlayStation 5 library. He is talking about games that have come out only for the PlayStation 5 that are not playable on the PS4 right now. That is literally what this dude's talking about, but Dreamcastguy is so fucking dense and is so ready to find any little thing to defend his lord and savior Sony on that he completely misses the point, twists the dude's words, and then spends the next 5 minutes hyping up how many great PS4 games there are to play on the PlayStation 5, completely missing the point the dude is trying to make in his tweets. But you know what, let's just go ahead and watch this shit.
First and foremost, the biggest thing that Xbox people talk about is backwards compatibility. Now, I'm not going to be one of those PS5 fanboys that acts like that isn't a great feature. The fact that I can take any of these hundreds and hundreds of games off my wall, plug them directly into my freaking Xbox and play them, upscaled 4K a lot of times, 120 frames a second, that is definitely an impressive feature. But here's my thought. PlayStation can do that as well.
Yeah, sure, and I could sprout wings and fly away right now too. Like, you know, who knows what could happen, but he's literally missing the entire point of the tweet, which is absolutely astounding to me. Like, I would think that someone would have to try to be this stupid. It literally says in the tweet that he supposedly read at this point, which at this point, Microsoft has that feature, Sony does not. Could they get it in the future? Yes, they could, but as things sit right now, at this point, Xbox has that feature, PlayStation does not. It is really not that fucking hard to comprehend, dude. I mean, if you literally just read that one sentence from the tweet and then listen back to what you just said, and you still think this dude is spouting fanboy BS, then you are absolutely delusional. Like, once again, I love how Dreamcastguy is accusing other people of stirring up console wars BS when this motherfucker's looking for that shit where there is absolutely none.
Just not as old of games. You can do every generation of Xbox runs on the current Xbox. That's definitely an impressive thing. But to act like the PlayStation doesn't have games, there are 4,000 PlayStation 4 games.
And guess what? Maybe the dude didn't buy a PS5 to play PS4 games on backwards compatibility with 0 upgrades whatsoever. Maybe he still has his PS4. Like, is this really that fucking hard for you to grasp? Like, you literally just walked through how Xbox is literally upgrading backwards compatible titles, and then you literally say the PS5 has backwards compatibility with not as many games, not as many generations, and it's not going to be upgraded like they are on Xbox. Like, you really don't see how he might prefer playing on Xbox over the PlayStation 5 and wouldn't recommend that people go out and rush out and buy a PlayStation 5, when in reality, if they already have a PS4, they're going to be playing all the same games for the most part, and there's very few games on the PlayStation 5 that he feels are worth going out and buying a console for. Like, is it really that hard to comprehend? The dude never said that PlayStation 5 has no games. He just said it doesn't have enough games for him to want to go out and buy a brand new console for. The only person stirring up console wars bullshit in this situation, Dreamcastguy, is you, by putting words in this dude's mouth that he never even said.
Almost all of which, 99.9% of that library, also works on the PlayStation 4. And you know what? I'm going to go a step further. A lot of PlayStation stuff is dirt cheap now. A lot of PlayStation 4 stuff is already on sale.
I mean, Dreamcastguy, you said you want to look at this objectively, so I'll go ahead and lay it out for you, okay? Publishers set the prices of video games, so therefore, the prices are going to be very similar on the Xbox and PlayStation. The Xbox version of the game is more likely than the PlayStation one to have some form of upgrade, and on top of that, you also have the option to play them through Game Pass, which is only $10 a month, which is cheaper than anything or any deal you can throw out that PlayStation has. So if we want to deal with just straight up objective facts here, the backwards compatibility situation on the PlayStation 5 is nowhere near as good as the Xbox Series X's backwards compatibility situation. And you know, I hate to sound like a fucking Microsoft advert here, but you know, it's just the facts here. Microsoft is doing much better when it comes to backwards compatibility than Sony could ever do. I mean, they have 3 generations of backwards compatibility. You can even play PS2 games on the Xbox Series X. X, you cannot play those games on the PS5. The Xbox Series X is by far the better console for backwards compatibility, no matter how you look at it.
Is it Games Pass price? No, of course not. But these experiences are still good, and it's weird that people just kind of hand-wave them away. I'm going to do something super ridiculous here that I've never done before.
Oh my god, dude, I can only imagine what's coming up next.
Let's just talk about the size of the PlayStation 4 library. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to grab some fistfuls of my freaking games. Let's take a look at this. So,
oh my god, dude, he's walking over to the wall of virginity. Holy shit, guys, make sure you strap yourself in. This could get really bumpy. But weren't we talking about the PlayStation 5 library? Like, you know, in the dude's tweet where he specifically referenced the PlayStation 5 library? Why are we talking about the PlayStation 4 library? Like, once again, completely missing the point. If the dude wanted to play unupgraded versions of PlayStation 4 games, he could just do it on his PlayStation 4. He doesn't need a PlayStation 5 for that.
literally, I can just stack these up all the way to the freaking ceiling. So, whenever people say that the PlayStation 5 doesn't have games, whenever you want to act like Game Pass is such a better deal.
Is he really going to debate the fact that Game Pass isn't a better fucking deal than owning literal hundreds of physical copies and sticking them on a shelf? Just when you think this video cannot get any fucking worse.
Game Pass is fantastic. Game Pass is cheap as hell. It is a tiny monthly fee. I give it credit for that. But
what? That you can't show off what a true gamer you are by having literal thousands of video games on a wall behind you and your very own wall of virginity? Thanks, but no thanks. I'll take Game Pass.
the fact that there is still just thousands and thousands of games that will run, that are great, that are freaking good deals on the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5 is something that is too often disregarded.
And there are thousands of games on the Xbox One that are great deals that'll run on the Xbox Series X in an upgraded form also, that are out there just waiting to be played is somehow overlooked by you as well. Like, I think the PS5 and Xbox Series X are on an equal playing field in that regard. You know, the Xbox One and the PS4 both had great libraries that people can go back and play. It's just that Xbox does backwards compatibility a hell of a lot better. Like, honestly, this video is just amusing at this point. Everything he's accusing this dude of doing and other people of overlooking is exactly what he's doing. I mean, you really just love to see it.
Both the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X currently have gigantic libraries of games. If you want to talk about the newest and greatest experiences like Cyberpunk 2077.
Actually, the PlayStation doesn't have that game. It got pulled from the PlayStation Store. And in before, oh, well, if you have the disc, you can still play it. Well, tell that to somebody who has a PS5 digital.
Or something that's a bit older. Like, my point is that I'm tired of this "it's got no games" argument from everybody because it's flat out not true. Like, straight up, at this point, if you want to act like Xbox has no games, you're wrong. And additionally, if you want to act like the PlayStation 5 has no games, you're still freaking wrong.
I mean, you were kind of just arguing that Xbox has no console exclusives, which is associated with the no games argument, so I think it's kind of ironic you're getting this heated.
Games Pass is a great deal, but disregarding all the freaking amazing experiences that have been coming out over the course of the last bunch of years just because you want to try and play this console war fanboy BS, my point is not only are these experiences great, most of them are dirt freaking cheap. These games are still freaking super good deals. You can get some physical discs.
Not if you have a PS5 digital, but the point he's trying to make is you literally do not need to go out and buy a PlayStation 5 right now to play all of these games you're talking about. The PlayStation 5, in terms of backwards compatibility, I'm going to make this very clear, runs the PlayStation 4 version of those games. It does not upgrade them in any way, shape, or form. So if you are buying a PlayStation 5 to only play backwards compatible titles, you are literally wasting your money because there is no benefit to playing them on a PlayStation 5 over a PS4 Pro. Is that clear enough for you? I mean, it feels like I'm addressing a child here, but I don't know, man. I'm just trying to make this as clear as humanly possible. Like, the only person you should be mad at in this situation, the only person who's doing the shit that you're accusing this guy of doing is fucking you.
My thought is this: whatever you want to play, wherever you want to play, I think it is absolutely worth it. I'm going to go a step further. I think that if you're able to have the pocket change for it, I'm very glad that I own both the Xbox and the PlayStation 5, because both these systems are freaking good and they're going to keep getting better. Telling anybody right now that a certain system isn't worth it is flat out untrue.
I mean, I love this shit. Like, he's allowed to have an opinion, but this guy's not allowed to. Like, how dare you not tell people that they need to go out and buy this console right now? Like, bro, people are allowed to have different opinions. What you place value in terms of a console, someone else may not put the same value into it. To be honest, I probably wouldn't recommend that anyone go out and buy a PS5, especially because you can't get one right now, so you're gonna have to pay resale for it. And I sure as shit wouldn't advise anyone to spend $700 or $800 on a fucking next generation console when neither console has any game on it that I would literally go out and buy a console for. Maybe when God of War comes out, that will change. Maybe when Halo Infinite comes out, that'll change. But as things sit right now, there is no reason to rush out and buy these consoles. You are really not missing out on anything. And you know what? Scratch that, because God of War and Halo Infinite are coming out on last generation consoles as well. So there really is no reason to rush out and go buy one of these things, especially at an $800 resale price. And that's coming from somebody who's scalped 5 PS5s.
And even more so, the fact that it is a director of IGN, this blows my freaking mind that anybody would try and play this card. Like, the fact that I can stack this up and I still have literally shelves full of games behind me. Like, these games are still good. And this doesn't even talk about the fact that the gigantic digital libraries that both these systems have, the amount of digital-only games that exist on Xbox and PlayStation that are still mind-blowing, to me, those deserve the credit. And the fact that they just constantly try and disregard them, to hand-wave them away, to me, is not just stupid.
Bro, the only thing stupid in this situation is your video on this entire topic, but you know what? I think it's really ironic, too, that he's expecting some sort of intelligence from an organization like IGN of all places, or even from games journalists in general. Like, that job does not exactly attract the best and brightest. There's a reason why the average game journalist is like 30 to 40 years old, living with 3 to 4 roommates in San Francisco, making next to nothing, writing about video games all day. It's not exactly a high-skill career path, so I don't really know what you're expecting from such a prestigious job title, but that's what pisses me off even more in this entire situation, which, if I sound pissed off in this video, Dreamcastguy, that's why. Your video is so bad that I am literally having to defend someone from an organization and career path that I absolutely despise, and that's what really is pissing me off here. Your video is so bad that it makes someone from IGN look good, and that's saying something.
In my opinion, it is ridiculous. It makes you look dumb to act like any of these systems aren't fantastic.
Hey, Dreamcastguy, you may want to take a quick look in the mirror.
Oh god, I'm gonna drop these. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Anyway, so as I was saying, It Takes Two. I gotta play that still. That just came out this year. The point I'm trying to get at, though, is that the PlayStation 5 does have great games. And in fact, I'll say that the $70 price point is still a bit ridiculous. The fact that I have to pay such a gigantic markup to play PlayStation 5 games, I'll be the first to say that I love Returnal. $70 is a big chunk of change. My thought is that going forward, games are still getting better. The library of experiences keeps getting better.
I mean, it's really amazing to me that you sat there and read his tweet but didn't understand a word of what he's saying. Either that or you're just maliciously trying to twist what he actually said. And I would hate to arrive at that conclusion, but given your track record of just blatantly lying to your audience, I don't really know anymore.
The times, the multiplayer, the open worldness, a lot of these games keep managing to improve, but to act like specifically the PlayStation 5 is having a library problem when we're about to get Ratchet and Clank, we've gotten so many good games so far. I mean, the fact that you're trying to act like this is still going on, it's straight up console war BS.
Again, Dreamcastguy, you may want to go take a quick look in the mirror, buddy, but I feel like this is kind of my mentality as well. I wouldn't recommend anyone go out and buy a PlayStation 5 for fucking Ratchet and Clank, dude. Like, this is what I mean. It's like Dreamcastguy's the only one who's allowed to have an opinion on what makes a console worth buying or not, and if you dare to disagree with them, you're just promoting console wars bullshit, and you're objectively wrong. Like, you really just love to fucking see it.
When I see stuff like this, I'm going to be mean here for a second. As you can see, I've been following Error Justin on Twitter. I've been following this guy for a while.
Oh shit, is he going to do what he did to Soulja Boy?
I'm going to be mean here for a second. As you can see, I've been following Error Justin on Twitter. I've been following this guy for a while. You know what I'm going to do? I'm blocking you on Twitter, so I never see another one of your crappy tweets, your crappy ideas, or anything involving Soulja ever again. You're a boy. Maybe someday you'll become a man. Justin, This is dumb. You're clearly just trying to bait the console war BS.
Once again, the perfect example of the pot calling the kettle black.
And the most annoying thing is that the amount of people feeding into this, like the amount of people that are jumping in here and being like, oh man, yeah, you act as if people can't play over 4,000 PlayStation 4 games. Like,
wait, is Dreamcastguy trying to act like he's mad that someone's making the exact same points that he was making in this YouTube video? Like, what the fuck?
I hate this kind of fanboy stuff sometimes because it's acting like certain consoles are just useless pieces of plastic and the other ones are the holy grail of gaming.
I mean, Dreamcastguy, if that was actually the reality and you didn't enjoy the fanboy stuff, you would have just left this alone. You wouldn't have made it a YouTube video. You wouldn't have brought more attention to it. You wouldn't have brought those type of people into your YouTube channel. But instead, you saw a way to make some easy money, make a clickbait title, and get some easy views, which, again, I'm not knocking the hustle, bro. Go for it if that's what you want to do. But to sit here and act like this holier-than-thou bullshit when you literally are one of the biggest propagators of console wars bullshit on this entire fucking platform known as YouTube, it is absolutely hypocritical, and you need to take a long, hard look in the mirror, buddy. Like, I don't know whether or not you're just this stupid or you're intentionally being disingenuous to try and just farm ad revenue, bro. Like, either way, it's not a good look.
Everything is good. Don't listen to this kind of stupid BS. Now, speaking of stupid BS, let's talk about the PlayStation 5 controller that just got revealed. Bah, 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 bah. Bah, 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 bah.
Still gotta make sure that video is over 10 minutes long. Old habits die hard.
But how about you? What do you think about today's topics? Is this console war BS at all worth your time? Is this just IGN hurting for those clicks?
Yeah, it's definitely IGN hurting for those clicks when they put out a tweet on a non-monetized platform on a dude's personal account in his own free time that he's making zero money from whatsoever. The person hurting for clicks is definitely not the person who made a dedicated 10+ minute YouTube video on the topic.
Tell me your thoughts in the comments down below, and if you are going to be grabbing a new PlayStation 5 controller, tell me your thoughts, tell me the colors, tell me what you think is the best of the best. But thanks so much for watching, gamers. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. But do me the biggest favor of all, and keep dreaming.
Motherfucker takes his own advice to keep dreaming whenever he tries to argue against points people never even made.
You know, you might be thinking that I knocked all this stuff down and I'd be upset by it, but here's a weird fun fact about me. I love organizing stuff, specifically like cool entertainment properties, alphabetizing my book collection, sorting things by type. I don't know why, maybe it's because I was just in the book business for almost 10 years, but
for somebody who's flexing the fact that they worked in the book industry for over 10 years, it's pretty ironic that you can't even comprehend a simple tweet.
Ooh man, there's something so therapeutic and zen about alphabetizing my shelves. So, you know what? Yeah, I knocked everything off, but I'm going to put it back, and it's all totally fine. Nothing's broken. Nobody leave me a mean comment about how I hate my console cases. Nobody leave me a mean comment about how I hate my console cases.
And just like that, the video is over, guys. You know, this was really just overall a very informative YouTube video. I feel like I really learned a lot. Dreamcastguy really made some great points in this YouTube video, and I definitely think it's one of his better, more recent videos, dude. Like, he really just had an overall great take on the situation. He really exposed the dude from IGN, and overall, he's just 100% right, man. We need to add this one to the stack of just overall great content from our Lord and Savior himself, Dreamcastguy. But that is going to do it for this video today, guys. If you did enjoy it, make sure to drop a like on it. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you are new to the channel, make sure to drop a sub as well. I would also appreciate that a lot. But as always, I want to thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your day to check out this video and for all the recent support as well. You guys are the fucking best, and I really do appreciate all the support on the channel. And I will catch you guys next time.